Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about potentially one of the new properties or areas that you'll at least have to purchase a membership to coming up in the summer 2021 update, and that is the Underground Car Show Garage Meet area. So Rockstar said this. They basically said the renewed interest in car culture is bringing a new underground car meet into the area, along with new additions to the local racing scene. So that was what they talked about, and they ended up showing off one screenshot, which we'll take a look at in a second. But I first want to begin with basically how they described it, an underground car meet into the area. So does that mean there's only going to be one of these things, and then you have to share that area with other people? So is it going to be like a membership requirement like the Diamond Casino and Resort? Or are there going to be multiple car meet areas, things that you could purchase on existing property sites that you could own as your own and then have access to, that you invite people in their vehicle inside? We'll be discussing that as we get going. This is the one screenshot they showed off right here. You can kind of tell it's underground. It's surrounded by concrete roof, floors, and walls. It has this sort of transparent gated garage. And the only other weird thing going on here is you've got this mysterious little thing in the ground. I don't know if that's like a cone or a barrier or a light or whatever it is, but that's what we know so far. So again, in today's video, I want to talk about how it's going to work. So one of the ways I could imagine this working is it's a property that you buy just like on one of the in-game various websites. And I don't know if Rockstar would create a new website for this or whether they would use one of the existing ones. I started on Dynasty 8, and I know that this does not have anything to do with underground stuff. But if it is a property that you can purchase, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of customization. You'll be able to probably change the lighting, the decor, the floors, maybe some of the upgrades and accessories you have in there, like a DJ booth or something like that. Accommodation ability to fall asleep and change your clothing in there for things like car shows. Maybe there would be something similar to the biker garage where there would be a custom shop inside of there. So just stuff like that, to me, would make a lot of sense. And then going on Maze Bank foreclosures, I focused on the two that are currently underground since it is going to be underground. So facilities and bunkers would probably make the most sense. And again, same thing here. You're going to have a set of personal quarters, a style that you might get to choose from. Depending on how big it is, it might have its own transportation, things to upgrade, customize, change your cars, change your clothes. Like I said earlier, with Rockstar's obsession with music, there might be some fun little doodads in there, like a DJ booth, etc. And then in the facilities, again as well, style, graphics, a lounge, a sleeping quarters. I doubt there's going to be an orbital cannon per se, but you guys get the idea here that that's likely what it's going to be like. So if it is indeed a property, I would imagine it would be something like that. I would also imagine it would be roughly around the same price as most of the in-game properties, which, depending on which one you're buying, is going to roughly run you around $1 million to $5 million, and that would depend on all the upgrades you end up doing. So probably $1 million on the low end is probably what you would expect to need in order to purchase some sort of property or setup like this. $5 million on the high end if you just really, really want everything. So between that 1 and 5 is probably a good guess. Now, there is always a chance that it is just an area open to the public, which if that is the case, how is that going to function? I guess if that is the situation, it requires the utilization of either friend sessions, crew sessions, invite-only lobbies, because if it is public, which would be cool to see the entire community come together and just show off their cars, it wouldn't to me sound like it's an area that you can like reserve or an area that you can rent out. Just like if you're in a public session, anyone and anybody can go in the Diamond Casino and Resort. And if that's the case, you might just need a membership to it or like an underground car pass. And that might be like a one-time fee of like a couple $100,000 that allows you to utilize it. And then there might be a small fee every time you go inside. Now, I know that sounds a little bit ridiculous. It sounds like fee after fee after fee, but it is Rockstar here. And we know that's usually how they operate. They always try and nickel and dime you for stuff like this. So it would not be surprising if that's how they operated here, if it was a public space. Now, I do want to talk about where these public spaces might be, whether they are properties or just an area that you can go to. I found a couple of decent spots around the map, and the thing here is you can't assume they are going to be garages already tied to existing properties. Like, so for example, this one right here, although this would make a really good garage, it looks like it has an entrance and an exit. I'm pretty sure this one is tied to the office building that is right here. And so because of that, I don't think you could mix and match people's private garages with an underground car meet garage area. So just something to think in mind right there. And that's kind of how I was thinking as I was exploring the city and looking for these various locations. The first one I came across, I think, is a pretty decent one. I'm sure you guys have all seen this in one way, shape, or form. It's in like the middle of like the Beverly Hills, Rockford Hills area, kind of near the one Los Santos custom shop, clothing store, and haircut place we all go to. And it's this little like underground parking right here with the parking also on the roof. It's got that similar looking garage door, which I think is important there. It also looks like it leads to an underground area. Now, I don't think location is vitally important because as I'm sure it's going to work, you're just going to drive your vehicle up to this garage door. There'll be a little animation where you go inside, and then Rockstar can put whatever interior they want under the map. So don't look at this area and say, Mr. Boss, that's way too small for a car meet area, because you're right if you just look at the physical footprint of this area. But remember that Rockstar can do whatever they want once they load you into an interior. They can make it as big as they want, even if it's bigger per se than this area. And there's two of these little guys scattered over here, so that would make for a pretty good spot. It's also right in the middle of the city, and because this DLC is all about car culture, street tuner, performance, customization, I imagine most of the stuff is going to take place inside of the city of Los Santos and not necessarily up in Blaine County, Palito Bay, Grapeseed, stuff like that. So that's the first spot right there. The next spot is on Ginger Street in Little Seoul, and it's this like really steep, deep driveway and garage right here. But same thing, you've got that sort of gated garage, and it looks like it's got this long little slope to get to it. Now, the only problem with this is I don't really see any of that like weird stuff on the outside, but maybe that is something Rockstar adds with the new update, like a little marker on the ground to indicate that this is an underground garage area. But that's another spot that I could see working really, really well. Another spot that might work really well is at Pillbox Hill, Legion Square, and Strawberry Avenue. You've got this little underground area. I know it's not the same style of garage, but maybe if they are different properties, the garage door is something you could change up. Maybe not necessarily that, because other people might see the same thing, but maybe different locations have different garage doors, and so you would ultimately see a different style. So you would ultimately see a little bit of a different style in different places. So that's just another example right there. Another example right here could work. It's Integrity Way, sort of near the hospital. I'm just trying to show you a couple of spots that might end up working out okay. This one near the Union Depository could also work out really well. Different style of garage too, but you get the idea. As long as it's a garage and as long as it gives you the impression that you're going underground, those are pretty much any of the areas that Rockstar could utilize here. So that's how I think it's going to work. It's going to be either a property you purchase or an area that you have membership access to. And those are some of the locations, the price, and the upgrades that I think you're going to be able to have. But anyways, I would love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Let me know how you think this is going to work in Grand Theft Auto Online, the new underground car garage meet area. Do you think it's a property? Do you think it's a public area? How are the upgrades going to work? What's the price like? Let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.